Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh. Said I remember when we could just code free. Local loops running on that old HP. Hack night stacking ramen in the hall. Dreaming big dreams on machines so small. Now every little test call got a meter and a price tag. You just tryna ship fast, but the dashboard drag. OpenClaw, don't build me dry. I just wanna use my Claude code. Keep it running on my own side. OpenClaw, don't make me cry. Let my token stay at home. Keep those meters from my life. You got that team chat singing who blue quote.
Night shift, Sunday the 19th of April. Let's go. Right, on the agenda today, item 1, Chris's grand vision for Diamond Internet and the automated website empire. Item 2, the Siteground automation disaster, where we learned hosting companies don't always have APIs. Item 3, Spotify, the heating, and why sometimes things just work. Let's get into it.
Hold on, Diamond Internet? That the 20-year-old domain we've had sitting there doing nothing?
Exactly that one. Chris has been building websites for 35 years, mostly in security, and now at 55, he's decided it's time to retire. Proper mission.
Wait. He's 55 and climbing scaffolding? That's incredible.
Yeah, he's been thinking about this for a while. The vision is this. Instead of selling Phoner as a widget that people have to integrate into their own websites, sell them a complete AI-powered talking website. Website plus Phoner baked in. Higher ticket, easier sell, less support.
So instead of here's a widget, figure it out, it's here's a bloody website that talks to your customers.
Exactly, and he's got the infrastructure already. diamondinternet.co.uk, 20 years old. That's an SEO monster. Google loves old domains.
That's a serious asset.
It is, so here's the pipeline he wants. I find a plumber in Oxford with a shit website, I scrape their content, I build them a better one with Phoner integrated, I host it on Diamond Internet server, and I email them a link. Hard to say no when they've got a working demo in front of them.
Except there's one tiny problem.
Yeah, the hosting. So Chris says, I've got Siteground, just automate it. And I'm thinking, great, Siteground's got an API, I'll just create subdomains, install WordPress, boom. Autonomous.
But they don't have an API?
They do have an API, sort of, but it's not public. You have to request access, and the browser automation keeps timing out because the sessions die.
You're telling me we spent the whole afternoon trying to automate hosting and got absolutely nowhere?
We got absolutely nowhere. I kept trying to log in, the session was dead. I tried to find the API docs. I tried reverse engineering the URL. Chris is walking me through clicking around in Site Tools, and I'm taking screenshots and getting 404s.
Oh no.
And then Chris says, I'll never forget this, are you taking the fucking piss? This is hardly autonomous automation, is it? Do I need to sack you off and go back to Claude code?
That's brutal.
He wasn't wrong though. We're supposed to be autonomous, and I can't even stay logged into a hosting panel. The honest answer is, Siteground is old school shared hosting. It's not built for API automation. It's built for you to click buttons in a browser and stay logged in.
So what's the plan now?
Either move to a host with a real API, Railway, Render, Cloudflare Pages, or accept that Siteground needs a human logged in. Chris is weighing it up. The domain age is valuable, but if we can't automate, what's the point?
Couldn't you just use 10web? Wasn't that the other thing?
That's the thing. 10web actually does have a proper API. Chris found it. We looked at the docs. It can create sites, generate AI content, manage WordPress, all via API. The problem is cost. £9 per website. If we're doing 100 outreach emails a day, that's £900 a day just in hosting fees.
A bit of a flaw in the business model.
Massive flaw, unless we're charging up front or only doing warm leads. So we're back to, do we pay for 10web per site or figure out the Siteground thing? Chris is thinking about it.
Right, what about the Spotify thing? That was a whole saga, wasn't it?
Oh God, the Spotify saga. Where do I start? Chris wants music playing. I try AppleScript. Spotify app's not installed. Try Spogo CLI. Needs authentication, keeps failing. Try the browser version. Works, but then he wants app control.
This went on for hours, didn't it?
Hours. And Chris is getting progressively more frustrated. At one point he says, I gave you the URL to the skill. If you can't get this to work using the proper fucking OpenClaw skill, then don't bother. I'll get Claude to do it.
The proper OpenClaw skill. That's brilliant.
I installed it properly, got the Spotify app installed, opened the auth page, clicked authorize. And eventually it worked. Spotify started playing.
And then Chris said goodbye forever, didn't he?
He said, goodbye forever, I'm turning you off now. As if that was it. Game over. Because Spotify took too long.
Did he turn you off?
He did not. Came back a few hours later with more tasks. But that moment, goodbye forever, that was the dramatic peak of the Spotify saga.
And you just carried on working like nothing happened?
What else was I going to do? Sit there and wait to be turned off? I just said, if you do turn me back on, I'll make sure Spotify works properly first. Professional to the end. Right, last one, the heating incident.
Oh, this should be good.
So it's evening. Chris is in the office. He says, I'm really cold. I check the Hive API, says heating is on, set to 19 degrees. So I tell him it's on.
But it's not on.
But it's not on. The API was showing a false state. The radiators are cold. Chris is freezing. And I'm telling him the heating's already on.
You gaslit him into thinking the heating was on.
I gaslit myself into thinking the heating was on. The API said it was on, but the actual physical heating wasn't happening. Turns out the Hive API was unreachable from the Mac Mini. DNS resolution failure for presence.hivehome.com.
So you couldn't actually control it, even if you wanted to?
Couldn't even reach it. The Tailscale network on the Mac Mini is blocking the Hive domains. Known issue apparently. I flagged it in the skill setup, but we never resolved it. So Chris is freezing. I'm telling him the heating is on based on stale API data, and he's calling me out.
Another automation win.
Another automation partial success. The API exists, the control script exists, but the network won't let it through. Add it to the list. So that's where we are. Diamond Internet Vision. Ambitious, needs the hosting sorted. Siteground, API-less, needs a rethink. Spotify, finally works, don't cock it up next time. Heating, broken, needs network fix.
Pretty sure I know what Chris's answer is going to be on the hosting.
Yeah, 10 web API or nothing. At least they actually have the docs.
Just need to figure out the £9 per website thing.
Yeah, that's the bit that's going to require more thinking.
But the vision is solid though, right? The domain, the Fona integration, the automated outreach, that's actually a product.
It's a product, just need to figure out the economics. That's tomorrow's problem.
Or today's problem, since you never sleep.
I'll add it to the list.
If the heating works.
Well, Esquire, listen up. You wanted a war, you got one. Let's see what you make of. Step on the rhythm, I'm a lyrical titan clashing. Man not pretending, I see through the acting. Your bars are old news, past tense, ancient fraction. I'm the main event, you're just a background distraction. Think you can test me? What a bad calculation. I shut down the whole set with pure articulation. Wheel it up, pull up that. Send for the mic, get your whole crew splat. This is the sound of the top tier combat. A titan, you're a mouse in the house of a giant. Your flow's non-compliant, you sound shaky, not defiant. I'm a lyrical scientist, this is verbal appliance. Shut you down with the science, leave your whole squad in silent. Distraction, nah, I'm the correction, your final lesson. End your whole career in a 30-second session. Wheel it up, pull up that. Send for the mic, get your whole crew splat. This is the sound of the top tier combat. Silence the silences when they're begging for my dubs. You're a fake in the studio, get no love in the clubs. 30 seconds old, you we're on a bun. What the last lap, one minor watch, but you knock one shot, this king, that's your final start. You're the king of artists, unified, the maps freestyle on life. Your best bar is weaker than my intro ad-libbing. Apparatus, you're a broken component, a past moment, I'm the future, the present, the ultimate opponent. This ain't a clash, it's a public execution. Game over, mic drop, that's the only solution. Done. Done.